Oh. Hello. Welcome to another live video with me, Karina. Today, first of all, I hope you're all well. It's the end of the week, almost the weekend. So I hope you've all had a good week so far, and you're looking forward to your weekend. So today we're going to be working into some front opening, otherwise known as back bending. Don't worry if you're not good at back bending. I'm not either. So we're going to do it together, and everything that we're going to do today is just going to work into those areas that will just help open up the front of our bodies so that back bending becomes a little bit easier for us. So when I first started back bending, I was feeling so much pain or just discomfort in my lower back, and I thought the way around this was just to keep pressing into my lower back and everything will get, the pain would go. What I actually found out was all my back was taking the strain. I had a really weak lower back. I had tight legs, tight hip flexors from years of running and cycling, and I also had tight shoulders as well. So with tight front of the hips, tight shoulders, when it came to back bending, they weren't doing anything, okay? And it was my lower back that seemed to be taking it all. And I still have to be very mindful that I don't push too much into my lower back when I back bend. So the trick is opening up these areas, and it's not all about the lower back. It's about the entire body working into your back bend, so you become a nice rainbow in your back bend rather than some kind of square or some inverted V, which is what I was like. So yeah, we're going to work through our back bending with some little drills, and then at the end we're going to do some back bending variations, and this is full urdva dhanurasana, and see how we get on. So let's come to our mats. Well, you need blocks. You might need blocks, but for most of you, you're not going to need blocks. And let's come into child's pose just to get settled in before we begin. Just grounding in your child's pose, relaxing, and preparing for the work we're about to do. By just letting go of your day, and letting go of any expectations for the practice. So just allow the entire body to melt into your mat right now. And just start to connect to the breath. And it's really important in back bending to keep that connection to the breath. In any posture really, but especially in back bending. For most people, it's not a nice posture to be in. It's quite a vulnerable position for the body. It brings up a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety in some. So when you're ready, just deepen the breath. And when you're ready, gently lifting the gaze, walking the hands back towards the body. Option to stay on your knees. Option to come to a seated position. Let's interlace the fingers and inhale, raise those arms. And find opening through the chest here. So reach The palms of the hands high, draw the shoulders back. See if you can soften the neck. Inhale. Exhale, release the hands. Bring the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, and inhale. Send the heart forward again, open through the chest. Draw the shoulder blades towards each other. Take an inhale. And exhale, let's fold forward. Taking those arms as high, or the hands as high as feels comfortable in your back, in your shoulders. Inhale, coming all the way up. Exhale, release. Interlace fingers again in front of you. And inhale, reach. Again, open through the chest. Send those hands back. Inhale. And exhale, release. Hands behind the back again, interlace fingers, inhale. And exhale, fold forward. You take those hands nice and high. And inhale, coming up. Exhale, release. Interlace fingers, inhale, reach again. And exhale, taking side flexion. Right hand onto the mat and leaning over, send the hips left as you reach and find space in the side body. Inhale to come through center, reach that right arm high, and exhale to take it to the other side. Hips go right now, reaching to the left. Inhale, coming back through center. Exhale, bring hands onto the mat. Come into your tabletop position. Fingers spread. Knees underneath the hips. Let's take some cat-cows. Inhale, drop the navel. Lift the sit bones. Press heels of the hands down. Send the heart forward, look up. And exhale. Tuck tailbone under. Round through your spine. Press through the shoulders. Chin in. Inhale, coming into your cow. Exhale into your cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale. Exhale. You think about opening all the way through the front body. Inhale. Can you find that length through the abdominals here? Exhale. Let's do one more, sorry. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, come into a neutral spine. Send the right leg back. Point the toe. So we're going to do something a little bit different today. So usually when we come into our tabletop or our balancing table, I'm telling you to keep the core on. This time we're going to kind of work through a cat-cow movement. So we're going to try to reach the arm and the leg as high as we can on the inhale. And then on the exhale, we're going to round the spine and draw knee towards the elbow. Inhale, reach as high as you can. Find that back bend. Exhale, pull everything in. Squeeze the core as you do this. Inhale. Exhale. Try two more this side. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. And bring in hand and knee back to the mat. We're going to try the same on the other side. Straighten that left leg. Point the toe. Find your balance. Send the right arm forward. And now inhale. Find that opening as much as you can. Reach, reach, reach. Exhale. Pull it all in. Inhale. Exhale. Notice the movement through the spine. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. Find your full range. Exhale. Inhale, hand and knee back to the mat. Let's bring the big toes to touch, send the knees wide, sit back, take a rest, child's pose. Inhale, coming back to tabletop position. We're sitting back on the heels. We're going to work into the shoulders a little bit more. Interlace fingers. Inhale, let's send the hands forward. Really round through the back. Staying here, a couple breaths. Tuck the tailbone under. Press those hands away. Inhale, coming into that extension again. Send the shoulders back. Maybe the shoulders feel a little bit more open now. And open it through the chest. Find length through the spine. Pull the hips and the hands away from each other. And then send the hands forward. Flex through the spine again. Let's hold. For 2, 1. And inhale. Find that extension. Send the hands back. 1 more breath. And exhale. Let's come back to a neutral spine, so not hyperextending. Let's reach the right arm high. Bend the right elbow. Take hold of the right elbow. Keep that upper arm parallel with the mat to begin. Let's pull the elbow towards the center line of that body. Option to take the head onto the arm and press back if you want a little bit more in the shoulders. If it doesn't feel good, if you're really tight again, just being here is all good. Inhale. Exhale, we'll switch the arms. So again, taking hold of the left elbow now. Draw it towards your midline. Notice if one shoulder feels different to the other. Relax, breathe. Again, you can press the head back if it feels good. If it doesn't feel good, if there's any pain in that shoulder, just stay where you are. Inhale, let's reach the arms high. Exhale, release. Making our way into puppy. Knees, hips width apart, hips over the knees. Walk the hands forward. Keep a tuck to the tailbone here. Again, just a nice stretch through the shoulders. Forehead to the mat, or you can bring it to a cushion. Just allow it to hang. Keep strength through the arms here. Wrap the triceps under. So similar to a downward facing dog, but on our knees. Really press hands into the mat. Work the chest towards the knees, towards the pelvis. But again, keep that tailbone tucked under. Feel that work. And let's hold. For 3. For 2. 1. Inhale, lift the gaze. Let's bring the hands towards us. Tuck the toes under. Send the hips back and up. We'll find our downward facing dog. And just pedal the legs down. We haven't worked into the legs at all. So they're probably feeling a little bit stiff. Upper body's feeling nice and toasty though. Nice and open, hopefully. At least we're getting there. Send the right leg high. Three-legged dog. Not staying here. Take an inhale. And exhale. Bend that right knee. Bring it through. And drop it between the hands. And let's set that left knee to the mat. Finding a low lunge. So sinking through those hips. Keeping the chest open here. And again, take that back knee back to wherever feels comfortable in your body. Top of the foot on the mat or toes tucked under. Whatever feels nice. Maybe you want to add a little bit of rock in here. Sending the left hip forward and pulling it back. Just noticing how the hips feel. And let's come up onto that right knee and see if we can sink those hips a little bit lower. Okay, this is a really important part to the back bend, having opening through the hip flexors, through the quadriceps. As I said, my quadriceps are ridiculously tight, even now, still so tight from all those years of athletics. Oh, if I could live my life over again, I'd definitely stretch after running and after cycling. So coming into a little psoas stretch now. Let's bring right hand onto that thigh. Inhale, left arm high. And exhale, a little bit of side flexion. So send the hips left as you reach over to the right. And it doesn't need to be much. And some people, just a little bit, is just going to feel that psoas open up a little bit more. Take a couple more breaths here. Really open into that side body. Keep sinking those hips low. Inhale, come back through center. Drop left hand onto the knee and open up into a twist. Send the right arm back. So again, twisting is really important in back bending also. Having space between the vertebrae in the upper back. If you're going well here, maybe you want to kick that left foot up, take hold of the foot. Keep sinking the hips nice and low. If you're going well, take the outside of the foot, maybe open up a little bit more. Maybe see if you can twist into that upper back. Gazing behind you again, if it feels good. If it doesn't, stay with a variation. You can keep that foot on the mat. Inhale. Exhale, release. Let's set the hands down. We'll tuck back, toes under. Send the right foot back to meet the left. Find your downward dog. Let's take a moment here just to go inside the body. Notice if you feel anything different between the two sides. Let's kick the left leg towards the ceiling. Find that three-legged dog. Take an inhale. And exhale, let's bring that left foot through. Drop that back knee and find that low lunge. Bring heart forward. Bring the top of that back foot onto the mat if it feels good. Work through those hips. And really connect the top of that right foot to the mat. If you connect the foot, maybe you feel that right knee wants to lift. You feel a little bit more of an intense stretch through that right hip and through the quadriceps. Let's come up onto that left knee now. Keep working through those hips. Maybe pressing back a little bit into that knee. Again, finding that opening through the front body. And let's take that psoas stretch. Bring left hand onto left thigh. Inhale, right arm high. And exhale, lean out to the left. Press the hips to the right. or at least the intention to move those hips to the right. They stay nice and low in your lunge. Stay here a couple more breaths. Breathe into your tension. And release. Come back to center. Bring left hand onto the right knee. And just check as we come into this twist that we don't start to lift up through the hips. Stay nice and low. Inhale. And exhale. Open up. Remember, just working into that upper back. Just feel the work. Breathe between the shoulder blades. Draw the navel in. Notice how you feel. Scan the body. Notice if you're starting to lift the hips up, send them low. And again, option to kick that right foot up, taking hold of the foot. Again, you take inside or outside of the foot to open up a little bit more. Maybe twist it a little bit more. Use that foot. So you're pulling on the foot at the same time the foot pushes back. A little bit tricky, a little bit of a balance going on here as well. So make sure you're staying nice and grounded through that left foot, really pressing into that left foot. And again, if it doesn't feel good, no worries, just stay in the easy twist. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Can you find a little bit more space? Inhale. Exhale, twist a bit more. And releasing that right foot back to the mat. Plant the hands either side of the left foot. Drop the back toes under, and let's send the right foot back to beat the left. Let's find downward facing dog. You're just taking a moment to notice. Let's move forward, find a high plank. Exhale, lowering all the way down onto our bellies. As always, you can drop knees first. Or come down with control through your chaturanga. Spine spins. Elbows on the mat. Draw the heart forward. Pull the shoulder blades back and down. Relax the glutes. Be strong through those legs. And try to find that opening again through the abs. Can you find your abs? And just bringing the hands either side of the chest. We'll come into cobra. Baby cobra. Again, just starting to switch on the muscles in the upper back. Can you draw the elbows towards each other or in towards the ribs? Can you pull the shoulder blades down the back? Keep sending the heart forward. Find the work in the upper back. Inhale. Exhale, release. Let's interlace fingers behind the back. I'm going to find our snake pose. Draw the shoulder blades together. Open the chest. Send the heart forward. Send the fist towards the feet. Doesn't need to be too high here. Again, just starting that work in the core. So back bending is about core strength as well. So sometimes it might seem easy for some people to come into back bend. Doesn't mean it's good for the back. We want strength through the body as well. Inhale. Exhale, release. So we're going to do a little flow between the three. So inhale, come into your cobra. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, let's reach the arms forward. See if you can lift up a little bit. Exhale, interlace fingers behind the back. Inhale, find your snake. Exhale, release. Hands come back by the chest. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, send the hands forward. Lift if you can. Exhale, interlace fingers behind the back. Inhale, snake. Exhale, release. Hands come back by the chest. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, hands reach forward. Exhale, interlace fingers. Inhale, find snake. Exhale, release. Hands come by the chest. Inhale, cobra. Exhale. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hands interlace. Inhale, snake. Exhale, release. Hands by chest. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, lower down. Reach forward. Inhale. Exhale, interlace fingers. Inhale, find your snake. And exhale, release. Let's bring hands by the chest or push back. Bring knees together. And let's find child's pose. And hopefully you can feel all your back muscles now. They've really worked hard. A lot of blood in the lower back, in the upper back. And lifting the gaze, we'll move forward and lower all the way back onto our fronts. And let's work on the legs a little bit. So again, leg strength, really important in your back bending. Remember, it's the entire body. This is why some teachers avoid calling it back bending, because it makes you think about the back. Okay, it's an entire body movement, such a strong posture. Let's bring elbows onto the mat. Let's just stack the arms. You can rest chin on the hands if you wish. Get nice and comfortable. Drive the left foot into the mat. Find strength through that left leg. And let's inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, lift. Try to keep that right hip connected to the mat. If your hips aren't naturally connecting to the mat, just try to keep the hips down. So just moving from the glutes all the way down the leg. That's about our fourth one. Let's try 10 on each side. So this is our fifth. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to lower down. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, lower down. Feel the glutes work. For 4. For 3. 2. 1. Switching legs. Strong through that right leg. Press the toes down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, low. Inhale to lift. Exhale, low. Keep going. Inhale for 8. 7. 6. 5. Deep breathing. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Bring your hands by the chest. Let's find our cobra. Maybe coming up a little bit more if it feels okay. So again, work those shoulder blades down the back, send the heart forward. Find space in the upper back. If you're going well, lower down. Bring the hands forward a little bit. And we'll find our seal pose. So pressing those hands down. You can make the work happen in the upper back rather than the lower back here. You can soften those glutes. If you're going well, start to walk the hands a little bit closer. And work through that mid-back. Bring your focus to the mid-back, to the upper back. Deep breathing. Every inhale, can you find a little bit more length through the front body? Every exhale, push a little bit deeper. We'll stay 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. And exhale, release. Send the hips back towards the feet. Feet together, knees together. Let's find our child's pose. Arms forward. Bend elbows. Bring hands into prayer. We're going to take a nice little tricep stretch here. You can use blocks underneath the elbows. If you have blocks, take it a little bit deeper. Most people, it's going to be deep enough with the elbows on the mat. And what I want you to think of is pulling the elbows towards the head and then send them forward. Nice tricep stretch. Deep breathing. We'll stay here a few more breaths. One more breath. And releasing. Take your blocks off to the side if you use blocks. Let's bring your hands onto the mat, tuck toes under, send hips back and up. Let's find that downward facing dog again. Inhale. And exhale, drop knees to the mat. Cross the legs, sit back over the feet. Find your seat. So we're going to come into a simple twist. Let's start with the right leg. Bend the right knee. Right hand behind the back. Left hand on that knee. Open the body up. And gaze over your right shoulder. As always, if you know a deeper variation, feel free to take a deeper variation. You can hook elbow outside of that knee. You can take a bind around the leg if it feels good. Nice deep breathing again between the shoulder blades. Remember, we're trying to open up the back as much as we can. Inhale, looking back to the front. Exhale, releasing, switch the legs. Left hand behind the back, right hand onto the knee. Inhale, open up. Exhale, and gazing over the shoulder. You can hook the elbow if that feels good. Take a bind if that's in your practice. Just keep working into that twist. Think of drawing that left shoulder blade in and down. I'll stay a couple more breaths here. One more breath. And inhale, coming back to the front. Exhale, let's cross the legs, plant the hands, swing the legs around. If you can't get over the legs, step back and find that downward facing dog again. Inhale. Exhale, we're going to drop onto the elbows, finding our dolphin. So it's exactly the same as our downward facing dog, but we're on our elbows here, pressing back. So pressing the chest towards the feet. As you come into this posture, try to resist those hands coming towards each other. Try to keep the hands shoulder distance apart. You can always use a block in between your hands if you notice that those hands keep sliding towards each other. Such an intense posture for some people, me included. It really starts to work into the shoulders. Really press those forearms down, press those elbows down. Try to elevate. Stay in a few more breaths. One more breath. And exhale, release. Went onto the knees, find your child's pose. Have a rest. And lifting the gaze. Let's make our way to a plank. Take an inhale. And exhale, lowering down. Through your chaturanga. Or dropping knees first. Coming into upward facing dog now. If it doesn't feel good in the lower back, just stay in your seal pose. So this one that we did earlier. Or you can stay in your cobra. Otherwise, we're going to hold our upward facing dog. Let's get those legs nice and strong. Let's spiral the arms in slightly. So you're trying to create a little bit of space between the biceps and the chest. Send the heart forward. Don't lift the gaze. I'm just going to gaze ahead. Working into that upper back a little bit more. Working into the front of the hips. Can you find that opening? Can you really work? I would say upward dog, when it's done properly, it should be a strong posture. Let's hold 2 more breaths if we can. 1 more breath. And exhale, lowering down. Let's press back, bum to heels, find your child's. And lifting the gaze. Let's move forward, find our high plank. And exhale, lower down. Come onto the elbows. So we're going to come into half bow pose. So we're going to bend the right knee, reach back with the left hand, and see if you can take hold of the foot. Maybe you're taking the inside of the foot. If you can, take the outside of the foot, and that's going to open into the upper back a little bit more. If you can't get to that foot, no worries. Maybe the intention is just to reach, or you can use a strap around that foot. Okay, and all we're going to do is press that right elbow down, try to open through the chest. We're going to press the foot into the hand. At the same time, the hand is going to try to pull the foot back towards us. That's what I always say, there's opposing forces here working into our back. And we're going to hold if we can. For 3, work. For 2, not too much. For 1, and release. Coming into the other side. Where are we? Left knee bends. Reaching back. Take hold of the foot. Again, it's the inside, or if you want to go a little bit deeper, take outside of the foot. Get nice and comfortable. Left elbow presses into the mat. So again, we're using that elbow to find a little bit of opening through the body. It's a twist as well. So we're trying to open up. Then push the foot into the hand and now pull on that foot at the same time. And we'll hold. For 3, keep the breath going. 2, and 1, exhale, release. Let's come back to child's pose just for a moment. Again, no worries if you can't. Come into your bow pose, your half bow. Moving forward, find that plank. And as you exhale, lower down. Coming back onto those elbows. So let's open into the quadriceps a little bit more. Bend that left knee. See if you can reach back, take hold of the foot, and this time we're going to try to pull the heel down towards the mat outside of that hip. Maybe you're here, maybe you're here. Just please, especially if you've got really tight quads. I have extremely tight quads. If you can, you're going to flip your grip so that the heel of the hand is on the top of the foot, the elbow is pointing towards the ceiling, and you're pressing down. And let's hold. Not too much. For 5. So again, we don't want pain here. For 4, 3, 2. Make sure you're feeling the work. And 1. Release. Other side. Taking hold of that foot again, wherever you can get to. And if you can bring the heel of the hand onto the top of the foot, go for it. And press that heel down. Feel that stretch through the quad. Maybe one side is tighter than the other. And again, we'll hold for 5. Breathe, soften, relax. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Let's bend both knees. So bring these together. Bend knees. Reach back. And maybe you're able to take hold of the feet. Maybe you can take hold of the ankles. We're just going to try to lift into full bow. Think of, my hair is just getting on there. Think of trying to pull the big toes to touch as you lift. So it's exactly the same kind of technique, the opposing forces. So we're sending the heart forward, we're pulling on the feet. At the same time, the feet are going to press away from us. It's really difficult, but we're going to give it a try. When you're ready, inhale, lift up. 5. Keep pressing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, release. Hands by the chest, press back. Rest, child's pose. And lift the gaze. Let's come onto our knees. Oh, you've guessed it, for our camel or camel variation. Almost getting to our full urdva dhanurasana. So hands into the lower back. Press those hips forward. And drive the feet into the mat. So spread your toes. Use your feet here to propel the hips forward. Open up that front body. Be an option to take the heels if they're easy to take. Otherwise, bring the toes up. Otherwise, stay here. And we're going to hold for 5, 4. Find opening through the front body for 3. Chin to the chest if it doesn't feel good in the neck. For 2. And 1. Release. Sit back. Let's have a rest. How are we doing? All good. Almost there. Let's do one more round of that camel, and then we'll make it into our urdva dhanurasana or our bridge pose variation. So we'll do a couple of bridges to warm up, and then see how it feels to come into our urdva dhanurasana. Again, knees underneath the hips, hands onto the lower back. Move the hips forward. Find that opening all the way up the body, into the heart, wide across the shoulders, across the clavicles. And again, if you're going well, See if you can take the heels. For 4, 3, work into that front body. For 2, and 1. Set the bum down. Have a rest. Maybe you're sat inside of those feet. Just again, stretching through those quadriceps. And now for our urdva dhanurasana. Let's swing those feet around, making our way onto our backs. So as I said, a bridge pose variation, always, for those of you that aren't quite ready for your back bend. Again, this is a great class just to keep doing, to really start to open into your back bending. But as I said, don't rush. Don't do what I did and just start to hurt my lower back, doing my back bends far too early. So we've got those feet, hips width apart or slightly wider, knees over the ankles, hands by the hips. And let's lift the hips up, shoulder blades onto the back as you lift the hips up and finding your bridge. Keep trying to tuck the tailbone under so you're pressing through the hips, or you're working through the front of the hips here. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale, lift it up. Maybe interlace the fingers under the back now. Maybe work a little bit more into those legs. And exhale, lowering down. So option to continue doing your bridge, or option to make our way into our full back bend. So bringing the hands by the shoulders, fingers face towards the body. What's really common in back bending, what prevents a lot of people from going up, sometimes it's just shoulder flexibility, so the elbows are pointing out. If the elbows are pointing out, turn the hands out, or the fingers out slightly, so that the elbows move in and work more towards shoulder distance apart. So check that those feet are nice and planted on your mat. And then option to lift onto the crown of the head first, finding the leg strength before lifting completely into your back bend, or option to just lift up into your back bend. We're going to try to hold for 5 breaths. When you're ready, inhale, make your way up, and we'll hold for 5, 4, 3, keep the breath going, 2, and 1. Exhale, lowering down. And hug your knees into your chest, give yourself a squeeze. If it felt too much, stay with your bridge. If you were going, well, good stuff, we're going to have another go. Again, always just be mindful of the lower back. Again, if you felt anything in the lower back, try really working on tucking that tailbone under to lengthen through your lower back, release that tension. If you're finding, like me, I have to do a lot of work to try to straighten through my legs, so I'm pressing into my shoulders, into my upper back, and really trying to feel the stretch through my chest and through the front of my shoulders. So again, always just scanning the body, noticing where you need to work in your body. And when we're ready, setting up for our back bend, hands onto the mat. And again, just check that elbow position. Check where your feet are. And when you're ready, inhale, lift up. And we'll hold for 5, 4, keep that breath going, 3, 2, work those hands down, work the feet down, and 1, exhale, lower down. Hug knees into the chest. And release. I would say backbending is such a vulnerable posture. It's not natural. Nothing in nature would open the front body to the world. It's very vulnerable parts where all our organs are. And so it can create a fear, initiate fear straight away as you come into it. The breath starts to get shallow. You get that sense of worry. So it's all about just trying to find that stillness, trying to find that calm within the posture, not allowing the nervous system to go crazy. Let's come into a nice twist. Take the arms out to a T and slowly lowering those legs over to the left. Drop the head over to the right. Release your spine. Draw head back through center. Inhale, draw legs through center. And exhale, dropping legs over to the opposite side now. And dropping head to the left. And just breathe, relax. Inhale, draw head through center. Bring knees through center. Give yourself a squeeze. Let's pike the legs towards the ceiling. Bring hands onto the mat. Drive the lower back down. And we're going to lower the legs. As always, back a little bit. As always, if that lower back isn't on the mat, bring hands underneath the buttocks or lift the shoulders up a little bit, and that will start to drive the lower back into the mat. Make sure your bandhas are engaged. Take an inhale and exhale. Start to lower the legs. Keep breathing. And when you're there, let's take the heels as wide as the mat. Take up space with the arms. If you have a blanket isn't in here again. And we'll cover ourselves with our blankets or a jumper. And we'll take a well-earned rest in our Shavasana. Well done. Maybe give the jaw a wiggle here. Just check no tension is in the face. Allow the body to be heavy. Allow the mind to be calm. bringing your focus inside the breath, onto how the body feels. And your option is always to take as long in your Shavasana as you need this evening. No need to come out. Otherwise, we're going to take an inhale. Exhale the breath, completely connect navel to the spine. Inhale breath into your heart space. Exhale breath into the fingertips and the toes. Start to wiggle the fingers and toes and bring movement to your body. Moving limbs, rotating wrists and ankles, whatever feels good. Bring feet and legs together, take arms overhead for a full body stretch. And draw knees into the chest, give yourself a squeeze. Rocking from side to side. And giving thanks. Thanking your body for the work it's just done. Offering gratitude to your body. And as always, always acceptance with where you are. Let's rock to our right hand side. Blink the eyes open and join me again in a comfortable seated cross-legged position. And let's bring hands into Anjali Mudra to our heart center when we're there. Finishing with the sacred sound Om and also a mantra. Let's always join in with the mantra if you know the mantra. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale for Om. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamidaya Purnamivavashishyate. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hare Om. Bring hands to head for kindness in your thoughts, to your heart for kindness in your actions, and to your lips for kindness in your words. From my heart to your heart, always. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me. It is the weekend. Yay. I hope you all feel a little bit more open in your body. Hopefully feeling a bit more open in the shoulders and in the front body especially. Maybe you didn't make the back bend at the end, it's all good. Maybe you just started to feel more open in the legs. Maybe you went for the back bend and you thought, oh, it feels a lot more open now in my body. So I know some of you guys are already doing your back bends, and that's great. But doing these kind of things, working on all areas of the body, like I said, is just a nice way to really start to open into your front body, and it'll start to make your back bends feel more effortless. Which, as I said, for me, back bending is still something that just brings up fear for years, up until probably last year, like when I used to come to do my back bending, I'd have a moment of kind of getting my courage up, start to breathe before going into back bending, because it was just such a hard thing for me to do, and accomplish. I can see bends make me a little nervous, weak lower back. Wonderful, thanks, Sally. Exactly the same for me. Totally nervous when I was doing my Ashtanga practice. As soon as we started coming up to the end of the series, and I knew then we were coming to back bend, like every time my mind would just be like, it's 3 poses away, it's 2 poses away, it's 1 pose away, all the time. It was just one of those things that always fills you with dread. And it was at a Kino McGregor workshop where she explained about the vulnerability of like opening the body up in nature, and it just all made sense. It's just it just incites this fear, this dread. But you have a wonderful back bend, Sally. You have a really, really nice back bend. You should be very proud of yourself. But exactly the same. I think you said lower back, weak lower back, exactly the same for me. So the great things for weak lower back is doing things like your shalabhasana, your locust pose, which we did a little bit. The snake pose, and also lifting the arm line on your front, lifting arms and legs. All these kind of movements really start to build strength in the back. When I started to do those kind of postures, and when I really started to open my quadriceps, my hips, and my shoulders, that pain in my lower back just started to go. So, and I was just like, why did anybody not point this out sooner? It's just one of those things. I think people thought because I was dipping into my lower back, I had a good back bend, but it was terrible looking back. And if anything is causing you pain, I always say just come out of it, because it's really, really not worth it. Back bending is one of those things. And in the second series of Ashtanga, it's all back bends, so it gets into these really deep back bends that are just every time it's just dread, absolute dread. So we just do what we can, and we just keep working into the body. And like I said, everything, everything is a lesson. Everything teaches us something. So I hope you enjoyed. As always, like the video if you like the video, share the video with others if you know anyone that's working into their back bends and it might be helpful. Donate if you can afford to donate. Otherwise, enjoy for free. Enjoy your weekend. Have a wonderful Saturday. I shall see some of you on Sunday morning for a nice, gentle Sunday morning flow. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Love to you all. Stay safe.